Hello, everyone, and welcome to Transcendence Talks with Suzanne Ross. I'm so excited for all of you to be here today. I'm Tangela, the founder of Soul Search, and I am delighted because we are starting a series called Transcendence Talks to really get into some of the amazing speakers that we have coming up at Suzanne Ross's amazing San Diego Transcendence Retreat, Bliss on the Bay. And Suzanne is an incredible spiritual teacher, mentor, guide, author, creator, and is also very passionate, like myself, about bringing spiritual community together. And she's doing this now in San Diego. So, Suzanne, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Tangela. I'm so excited that you're launching this Transcendence Talk series on Soul Search TV. I was just thinking before we were coming on how something starts as a concept, right? I knew I would be moving to San Diego and I knew I wanted to do an event in San Diego. And it started as an idea and a desire, and now it's like in full bloom and it just keeps getting bigger and better. We've just added Dahlia and Lita Burgoyne for Mindsight and Telepathy, and we just added Daryl Anka, who will be teaching a workshop on metaphysics. But already we just had such great speakers. Tangela, some of the speakers who were present at my Sedona Ascension retreat in March, like Aaron Abke and Ann Tucker, who are just bringing in such incredibly insightful information, wisdom, knowledge, right? And then, some people who are new, like Ken Lloyd and Pamela Downs. So just really exciting lineup of speakers. And it's here in San Diego on the coast, on the bay. And so I really wanted to have a gorgeous retreat that was right on the San Diego Bay. So just like in Sedona, we're right there in the magnificent Red Rocks. Here in San Diego, we're on the water, right? So I wanted to design an opportunity to go out onto the water. And so now we have this sunset dinner cruise that goes out on the bay. And the resort itself is right on the beach of the bay. So yeah, just really wanted to create the best retreat experience possible for my beloved guests. And thank you so much for supporting me, Tangela.
Oh, of course. I'm super excited about this. San Diego is just beautiful. And of course, I've been attending and been a part of your Sedona Ascension retreat. And that is such an incredible high vibe gathering of people from around the world coming to really experience all of these amazing presentations and workshops. And now you're bringing all of the magic to San Diego. So it's really exciting. The lineup that you have with Aaron Apke, Sarah Breskman Cosme, Mark Anthony, Alan Steinfeld, and more. So it's really going to be an incredible event coming up September 27th and 28th. And I'm excited because every week we're going to be chatting with each of the speakers about transcendence and what that means for all of us today. And I'd love to hear from you, Suzanne, actually, as the creator of the Transcendence Retreat. What does this mean for you? And why is it so important to bring people together for transcendence at this time?
Thank you for asking that. Well, I was offering 2 retreats a year in Sedona for the last 10 years. And so I always had my Ascension retreat in March during the spring equinox, and I always had my Transcendence retreat in September during the fall equinox. So I'm just really shifting the fall equinox Transcendence retreat here now to San Diego. These are two topics, Tangela, ascension and transcendence, that really resonate with the spiritual community. Ascension and transcendence are similar, but ascension seems to be this concept around all of us shifting into a higher version of reality, into a higher dimensional plane of reality. It can also just be an ascension of consciousness and uplifting and elevating of our consciousness as our consciousness expands and our hearts open. It can be evolutionary shift. But then transcendence is a state of being that we can develop and even sustain, right here and now. You might think of transcendence as being a state that you would reach during meditation. And of course, that, is very possible. And many of us experience that. But then we come out of meditation and we're in our 3D world of errands and interactions and all of the practical things that we need to do to support ourselves in this reality. But what if we could maintain that state of transcendence throughout every moment of our day? And that's really what these spiritual teachers, these best-selling authors have dedicated themselves to, is to teaching people how to reach this higher state, this higher way of living, being with elevated awareness, with their hearts wide open, really feeling that empathic state of oneness, in love with one another, and just sustaining that as we move throughout our day, every day. And so that topic and that concept and that way of living and being is near and dear to my heart, and something that I have, made a sincere effort to develop, maintain, sustain, and over the years have, taught my students and clients different tools and techniques, as have the presenters at my event. So yes, transcendence is near and dear to my heart.
I love the way that you explain that. And it is so powerful, especially during this time, because I think, like you were saying, sometimes we think about ascension and it seems out of reach. Whereas for all of us, ascension and transcendence, this is a day-to-day practice, a moment-to-moment practice where, we are really going beyond our limits, into freedom, into unity, into truth, and really just having our soul leap forward and staying in those states of consciousness, for longer and longer periods. And I love the word that of transcendence that really encapsulates that feeling and being of going beyond all of our ordinary limitations, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, because all of us, we can access higher states of consciousness, awareness, being, and we're in this moment of time, the awakening of humanity, where we're coming together to really support each other in doing that.
Thank you. And what comes up for me during this time, Tangela, is really transcending separation and
Yeah.
transcending ego, right? So, we're making very conscious choices right here and now to transcend separation and really focus on unity as a collective and in our own individual lives as well. And when interacting with others, really transcending ego and being aware of your own ability to transcend your ego, but also, when you're interacting with others, just feeling into communicating with the person's essence, with their soul essence. It's a soul to soul, heart to heart interaction that transcends any type of ego. And I think that's just so important for us as individuals and for us as a planetary collective right now. Alan Steinfeld and I just got done interviewing Dahlia Burgoyne, and her daughter Lidu presented at Contact in the Desert. Mind, sight, and telepathy. And so this extraocular vision that Dahlia has developed, she can wear a blindfold and be totally aware of what's going on in the reality around her, from reading an open page of a book that she cannot see to determining shapes and colors and even reading into the thoughts of the audience. While her daughter, who is an autistic savant, Lidu, can actually telepath, and she demonstrates telepathy. But we were talking about, these are advanced gifts that are reserved for more advanced beings, simply because the ability to be totally telepathic and read each other's minds requires a certain level of unity and compassion and kindness and understanding, and really, Tangela, unconditional love. And so, that's transcendence too. Just being so dedicated to being as loving, kind, caring, compassionate, empathic, as you can in this, state of sort of appreciating the oneness. And that is when you can start to develop advanced gifts and abilities too.
Definitely. And I love how you put that together because, as we move towards unity consciousness, that unconditional love, knowing that there's no separation between any of us, that's how we create the heaven on earth, the world that we know is possible. And we are doing it. And we are doing it as we come together at events like yours, at the Transcendence Retreat, where we all step into co-creating that frequency together and dive into practice, dive into workshops, dive into talks and meditations to really create that frequency of oneness, of unity, of unconditional love that supports us in continuing to raise our vibration, to stay in that frequency, and then bringing that frequency out to the world.
Oh, bless you and thank you for that. It's a more intimate retreat experience, the Transcendence Retreat. We have a seating capacity of about 400 versus our, Sedona event, which is about twice that. But we really appreciate this fall equinox, more intimate retreat because we only have one stage. And everybody who's attending the retreat is present during the onstage presentations, which are very interactive. I always inspire the presenters for, to have presentations that involve the audience, that are very interactive with the audience. And then there's plenty of opportunity during the workshops and even during the Sunset Dinner Cruise to interact with these speakers and presenters. And so I really appreciate, that the smaller, more intimate retreat gives the audience that opportunity to be really involved and interactive.
I love that. And just going to bring up the flyer again so we can all take a look at it and just see all of the amazing speakers that you are bringing together and that we're also going to be speaking with every week coming up. So for all of you watching, stay tuned and stay connected with us because every week we'll be diving into a transcendence talk with one of the amazing speakers. And I know next week we start with Alan Steinfeld.
Our beloved friend, Alan Steinfeld, who's so near and dear to so many hearts in the spiritual community. He's so well connected, and he just really is an authentic, loving being who just generously supports those who are, having gatherings like myself. And he co-hosts with me in Sedona, and he'll co-host with me here in San Diego. So I'm just very grateful for that. Yeah, let's just kind of go through these speakers quickly, Tangela, and just highlight. So we are going to start with Aaron Abke, and Aaron Abke is just blowing up YouTube because what he's bringing through really touches people on a very deep level. He has a podcast called The Jesus Way. He's really tuning into the original teachings of Jesus as an Essene from Nazarene. And he just, inspires you to just fall in love with Jesus as truly, the heart-centered, soul-inspired teacher that he was. Also, Aaron's very tapped into the law of one. Sarah Breskman Cosme. She is a student of Dolores Cannon's QHHT technique, where she, hypnotizes people. And OMG, Tangela, these people are bringing through their lives in Atlantis and Lemuria, Egypt, and the Mayan temples. But for this event, she's really going to highlight Thoth, the scribe from Egypt, because he's come through many of these hypnosis sessions. And Tucker tunes into the angelic realm like no other. It is so compelling because what she brings through is so prolific, so poetic, so prophetic. It's just very compelling. And she has a best-selling book called What's Coming Next. So she really focuses on what's coming up for humanity in the future.
Wonderful.
Boyd, he is a powerful healer. He taps into a source that brings through this incredible healing power. He activates the whole audience by bringing through this powerful healing energy. Mark Anthony. We love Mark Anthony. He's a medium, but he's also a best-selling author of books like The Afterlife, Frequency. And he talks a lot about, the afterlife and that eternity is real. And he has these incredible mediumship abilities to tune into people who have passed on, and he does this light circle, and he'll be doing a light circle on both days. It's just 6 people. So sign up now if you're interested in doing that. It sells out fast, but he does a group reading. Mm-hmm. I love your beautiful picture there, Tangela. And you always open my events with the most divine guided meditation. And it just really sets the stage for the whole event. After that, it uplifts and elevates everyone. And you really connect people into, this greater field of just this divine consciousness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Riz Von Verb, known as Riz. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. So he is an MIT scientist who really tapped into this idea that we're living in a simulation. But he's also very spiritually inspired. So while there's the technology of multiple matrices and possibly a computer-generated virtual reality, he also recognizes that we're all of and from the same divine source. So I just love how he combines technology and spirituality in this concept of a simulation. And then Pamela Downs. So I was introduced to Pamela Downs and just blown away by what she's bringing through. She's a powerful channeler who taps into a divine collective and just brings through profound messages that are very inspiring and empowering for humanity. Then there's Shelley Reeve. She's just an amazing sound healer who uses crystal bowls, the harp. She's been offering sound healing for decades, and she's just a beautiful, sweet soul. And then, like I said, we just got off an interview with Alan Steinfeld. You can tune into his YouTube, New Realities, to see this interview we had with Dahlia. And so Dahlia has developed the ability to do this mind sight technique, but then her daughter, Lidu, is just an incredible telepath and demonstrates extraordinary telepathic abilities. It's very audience participation active. And so the audience gets to interact with Dahlia and Lidu as they demonstrate mind sight. And so they don't just demonstrate it, they teach the audience how they too can develop these gifts.
Wow.
And then, yay, Daryl Anka just joined us teaching a metaphysical workshop on the true nature, design, and origin of reality. So that is extra special. So yeah, I look forward to having each and every one of these speakers come on Transcendence Talks for this series. Thank you so much, Tangela, for hosting it and featuring it on Soul Search TV.
Of course, it's my honor and pleasure, and I'm excited that we're going to be diving into Transcendence Talks with each one of these amazing speakers every Wednesday at 12 noon. You can join us live on Soul Search TV, also, of course, on Facebook and YouTube. And we're just excited to be having these conversations so all of you can get to know each one of these speakers as we lead up to this event and get to know a little bit more about them, who they are, and what they're going to be bringing to all of us in San Diego. It's going to be amazing. And of course, if you'd like to sign up, you can go to San Diego TranscendenceRetreat.com. We will all be there live and in person in San Diego. So it's just going to be an incredible gathering of souls. I'm so excited, Suzanne.
Oh, me too. And I want to make sure that people saw that coupon code BLISS on the Bay. So you can get a special discount. We have a variety of passes, Tangela. So we have passes that range from all-inclusive to a la carte. So whether you live in San Diego and you don't need a hotel, and or maybe you just want to stay at the gorgeous resort so that you can really immerse yourself into our retreat for both days. Our all-inclusive pass is called the Immersion Pass. It includes a deeply discounted group room rate, as well as the weekend pass and the sunset dinner cruise and a workshop. Wow. And then we have passes that are just more a la carte, where you can join us for the weekend and add on workshops and or the sunset dinner cruise. So we're excited to offer a variety of passes. Also, I want to invite vendors. And so I've been going to Tangela's amazing Soul Search Enlightenment Expos and interacting with the vendors there. And so vendors are starting to sign up. If you're a vendor and you have a spiritual service and or products you'd like to offer to our guests, please make sure to visit the website as well, because we have a special vendor pass and we're offering vendors that 2-night stay at the deeply discounted rate as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And for all of you who didn't see it, the coupon code is Bliss on the Bay. So that will get you an amazing discount to the San Diego Transcendence Retreat. So we have the link right below and the coupon there. And of course, tune in with us every Wednesday at 12 noon, because we are going to be going live with Alan Steinfeld, with Sarah Bressman Cosme, with Aaron Apke, and so many more incredible speakers. So stay tuned for all of this. And of course, this is all leading up to the amazing event September 27th and 28th, San Diego Transcendence Retreat. So definitely we'll see you all there. And Suzanne, thank you so much for putting all this together and bringing this amazing event to San Diego.
Thank you. Doing these events is definitely my soul's calling, and it just fills me with so much joy to be able to do it, and so much gratitude for all the people who gather around to support it, attend it, be a vendor at it, and people like yourself who do these podcasts with me to support and promote it. Thank you, Tangela. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. And of course, it's my passion as well to bring spiritual community together. And that's what we're all about at Soul Search, is just supporting the expansion of consciousness, bringing soul family together, whether it's online, in person, through Soul Search TV. And Suzanne, I'm just so excited to be co-creating all of this with you and doing this together.
Thank you. Love you all. We'll see you on the next episode.
We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you all. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye.